Well, welcome everyone. I am Coach Cheryl Clarke and founder of Speak Your Power Now, and I am super excited that you are coming here today to join me on today. And if you haven't known who I am or missing or saying who I am Coach Cheryl Clarke. They know me as Coach Cheryl Clarke. They know me as Cheryl, and I want to come to you today because there are so many times in my life that I've heard a lot of clients, a lot of people are struggling out there today. We just came out of a pandemic, and well, we're still in a pandemic, I will say, and a lot of us are in pain. I'm going to get right into it. A lot of us are in pain, and I want to say a little bit about what I do and how do I communicate this with my clients and with my own self. So I want to just tell you a little bit about why I decided to come live and why I decided to have this to be an interactive type of, of thought pattern and want you to be interactive. So I want you to talk back to me. So go ahead and share the link. Go ahead and tell someone that I am live and I'm listen, I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a marriage and family therapist, but I'm also a human. How about that? I'm a human that had human experiences, and I'm one that will share my scars with you in order for you to help you heal your journey. And a lot of us don't realize that our upbringing has a really big part about what makes us who tick and what makes us who we are. I had a lot of structural things that has tools that I've learned along the way that I said I always want to share them with everyone because when you are struggling out there, I want you to recognize that other people are struggling too. So I said, Cheryl, I need to share some of these tools with people that may be struggling still. Maybe you're a mom out there. Maybe you are struggling with a job. Maybe you are someone that's struggling with low self esteem. And I was one of those people that was struggling very early on with low self esteem. And in turn, I became a bully. In turn, I became things that I wasn't too proud of. But as I got a little older, I understood what was the things that made me tick and what were the things that triggered me. So today, I think I'm going to talk a little bit about triggers. And if you want to go and chime in, and this, listen, I'm a little new at this, so if you want to chime in on the on YouTube, because I know I'm shining in YouTube, so I want you guys to talk back to me in YouTube. So that this is where this I know that you guys are seeing me, so let me go to my YouTube so I can actually see that people are seeing me. So come on and talk back to me so I know that my people are out there having a conversation with me, talking to me, chat. So I'm going to say hello in the chat. And if you are out there, I want you to share firstly, and then I want you to say hello back. So if you see me saying hello, say hello back to me so that I'll know someone. Give me some hearts, share it because this is how listen, this is the first time we out here. So I would what they say in the YouTube streets. So I want to get to the nitty gritty. I want to see that you guys are seeing me. So talk back to me, know that someone is there, so I'll know. Give me a little hearts and all. But hey, Nicole is there. She's looking on. So yeah, at least I know I'm coming through. So let me just tell you a little bit about this journey of psychotherapy and a little journey of who I am in mental health. Mental health, I always say, gets so overlooked. When you are struggling with a broken leg, you will go to the hospital. If you're struggling with a broken finger, you can actually see it. There's indicators out there as well when you're struggling with mentally. And a lot of us don't pay attention to when we are struggling mentally. And that means that there are certain parts of your being, there's certain parts of who you are, there's certain parts of where you are you get stuck in. And a lot of it comes when we don't know how to heal from our past. Now I'm going to take you down a little journey of my story of how it got connected to me in regards to I needed to heal from my past. Because in order for you to stand powerfully in your present and create that future self of who you are standing in that, the only way that you can connect that is that you heal from your past. Now, that you will have triggers, you will have things that will show up, but sometimes we're not aware. A lot of times we're not aware. And when we are moving in a situation where our upbringing has put us in a space where we don't know how to cope with certain things that may come through our door. So let me talk a little bit about how you can get stuck in certain areas and you may not ever know it. But certain times you have normalized certain behaviors. You have normalized certain things around you. And what do I mean by normalize? I mean that you have put yourself in a situation where, well, not put yourself in a situation, but say you come up to a situation at your job and you're struggling with relationships at your job. Then you go home and you're struggling with relationships at home. And then you have struggling with relationships that people with in the supermarket. At times you got to look at yourself because how you're handling other people is how you're always handling things. And in relationships, I say that is the key indicator when you're struggling in relationships to be with other people. Now, let me go just a little deeper. When you talk about your upbringing has a real indicator of how you handle situations and how you handle things. Now, in my family or in your family, you may have come from a family that is single parent household. You may come from a parent that is intact, which meaning a mother, father, two parent households, or it depends on what it is. Or these days you can have a two parent household with same sex or whichever it is. But if you come from a home that continuously has maybe a parent that is addicted or a parent that has their own trauma or came in that space where you may not understand how to handle situations, and now you see yourself raising a child in that space, or you see yourself in a space where now in relationships you feel like you are now being trapped in certain areas. How do you now handle a situation where you're being put in a space or a box and you never ever was able to find your voice? And that's where I want you to really look at. I want you tonight, we're going to look in how your upbringing may have affected who you are today. And I want us to really ask ourselves, have we really thought about our upbringing? Have we really thought about who we are? And so today I'm going to do a demonstration with you, and you're going to find that I'm going to do a lot of demonstrations with you throughout this time here. And I'm going to take my little board and I'm going to map it in time. This is real time. And I want you to see how your upbringing may be a situation of your beliefs and or your behaviors and the results. Or how is it that my belief is now guiding my pathway unequivocally that you may not understand it? So so go get right now, what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna get my pad and I'm gonna turn this right here. I love this. And you're gonna see, yes, I'm gone. If you have one of these at your house, you can go and use it too. I have a big pad, it's from Staples. But this one, I'm going to show you something on today. This is what I do with my clients a lot of times. So right now, you're going to see, and yes, I moved away from my my seat here, but I am back. And I want you to see how you're going to demonstrate this. Go share this out. Go share this out because you get to understand how you can relate to other people, and you may be relating to someone that you don't know. Okay, let me know that you can see me, and I want to make sure you can see me and hear me still as I'm going to demonstrate here on my pad. Tell me that you can still hear me. Talk to me in the chat room a little bit so I can see that you guys still hear me and see me as I'm going to demonstrate something on today. All right, talk back to me. I know you guys are in there in the chat room. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I want to make sure you can hear me because I think some people say they can't hear me. So I want to make sure that you guys are hearing me. Perfect. Thank you, Nicole. All right. So let's do a demonstration here. And the first one, I think that what we're going to do is that we're going to really look at our upbringing and what your belief is and what it is, how you believe in something. So this is a triangle. I'm going to draw a triangle. And the triangle is going to demonstrate here on the board. Your behaviors is up top. Your beliefs are down here. And the results. Okay? Now, this is going to be very important for you to understand who you are. Now, let's take a new job, because in relationships, it's very important to see who you are in a relationship, right? So let's put new job. And this is the new job. So say you got the new job, you got the interview, and the interview went well. And what was your demonstration of this? Okay, so here we go. And I did this with a client, and she got so much insight. So when she got on in the interview, she recognized that this was a new opportunity. So she put new opportunity. It was new. Then she says, I get a chance to, this is what she thought. This is her beliefs about the job. I'm on this side. The beliefs about the new job, right? The beliefs about the new job. It was a new experience, she said. She also stated that it was she was able to do a new development, new hire, a new policy. She was excited about it. It was all excitement, and she was able to have policies. Excuse my little thing here. It was new policies, and she was so super excited. Now listen to this. She came over here, and now she's going to look at, this was her beliefs. Now, then we looked at her behaviors, right? We looked at her behaviors about her new boss. Now, let me just tell you a setup here. This was her third job since the pandemic. And when she recognized, we went through this chart, we looked at her behaviors. So I had her look at her boss. And with her boss, she said, I said, what did you think about what was your beliefs about your new boss? She said, oh, I thought that my boss was cool. She said, we had so much in common. We had so much. She said she loved murder mystery. So she said we were murder mystery buddies. That's what she said. She said we had so much in common with each other. And then she said, it was so, she was like almost like a girlfriend. These are the words that she used, right? I'm going somewhere here. I'm going somewhere. So now, then she says, I said, so what did you think about your new position? What was your new beliefs? What was your beliefs? Remember, we're about beliefs. What was your beliefs about the new position? She said, oh, I can change things. I was going to make a difference. I was going to make a difference. This is all the stuff she was saying. It was great. It was wonderful. This is all the things she was saying. She was jotting it down. She said all the beliefs and stuff like that. And then I said, well, what result did you want to get out of it? So then she started to write down her results that she wanted to get out of it. She wanted to have, she was going to get more money, more time, all of this stuff, right? All of this stuff. So then what happens here? I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. We started just going down, right? So her new job, she went in, she got the new position. She was a new experience. They were gonna make new policies. She had a new boss. She felt her boss was cool. She felt they had a lot in common. She felt like they could have been girlfriends and all this stuff. All right. So let's fast forward. Let's look at the behaviors. Remember, when you go into something new, your behaviors you do not leave on the shelf. There's certain things that you still do. So I said, okay, what happened? The results, her behavior, she says, I was open for new ideas. She said, I was excited and I was happy. Now, when I'm looking at her, and I'm saying this to her. Now, I know her. We've been talking for some time. And what she did not do, or what was happening, is I really put and really look at her and say, we need to create boundaries. Because I knew growing up, we had to look at boundaries. She never saw, when I looked at her boss, because it started to go downhill. The boss, she wanted her boss to be her friend. When she went into the situation with her boss, she was going out to drinks, and the boss had loosey-goosey boundaries too. She started going out to drinks with the boss. She also went on to different things with the boss, sharing intimate things with the boss, crossing a boundary. How many of us don't have good boundaries? Now, let's talk about this boundary, because boundaries are so important, but we don't recognize how boundaries can really hinder a relationship. How boundaries can also give this person a situation where the job is now in jeopardy. Because she never saw her boss as a boss, she saw her boss as a girlfriend. How many of us go into relationships where we don't have great boundaries? I'm just saying. Because when we deal with something and how we're moving in something, boundaries are important. Now, today I said I was going to talk about something else, but it went into something else because I had just got out of a session with someone. And I want to empower you about how you can now set up boundaries in positions right where you are. Now, boundaries can look something like this. First, you need to identify your role. Let's identify the role. Her role in this specific part was a new hire. And the possibility of her staying at this company to build new experiences and build new policies, that went down the drain. Because now what she did was she started to begin to talk negative about her boss, and it limited the possibilities for her to grow. Now, when boundaries are muddled and boundaries are crossed, you can have physical and emotional and mental anguish. What do I mean by that? Your well-being is just like a broken foot. Your well-being is just like someone that has physical or emotional or mental anguish. Now she's stressed out because now she has to find another job. She also has to maintain her role still there in the space, and now there's friction. Why I handle the relationship with boss versus employee? Because a lot of us have been in the house and a lot of us are craving for friendship. A lot of us maybe and don't really realize that sociality is big when you are now connecting yourself with someone else. This is why I say to you, a lot of times it's crucial. It is crucial to maintain one's well-being. Your self-care and self-respect in relationships is super important, because at times when you're with other people, she could have really, really built this company up. She had everything she needed. She had the experience. She had the likability, but what she did not have was good boundaries. Now, I want to offer someone this space. I want to give you some tips of how you can build good boundaries. Now, if someone does have an idea, if somebody wants to come live with me, I will offer you a chance to come live with me. I will send you the link separately. But if you want to come into the hot seat, let me know. I will send you the link, and you can come on Zoom with me, and I will bring you live with me, and we can converse something about your situation, about boundaries. All right. So the first thing I want you to write down, if you want to come on in, put it in the chat in the chat box, and I'll have you come live. All right. Now, how do I build boundaries? The first thing is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Okay. What does that mean? Self-awareness is when you're able to understand your personal values, and that you're able to understand your emotions, and you can be able to regulate your emotions, and then you can stay in your limits. That means that you have good personal space. That means that you have good personal space for others. That means that you don't share any of your personal business. Now, there'll be times on this platform that I will share some scars that may have happened to me, or some things that may happen in my family. Why? Because I know that it can help build you. But boundaries are important, but self-awareness is the main key. If you don't have self-awareness in who you are and other people, you can block opportunities. Secondly, so that's number one. Second one, this is big here. Communication. Okay, this is big. I want to stay on this. Clearly expressing your boundaries to others without you being disrespectful is key. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that if you tell somebody, I want you to stay away from me, that is not a great way to say that. And being assertive is a really good way. If you're able to learn to be self-expressing here in the platform where I really am an advocate for people finding their voice. I believe that once you find your voice, you're able to communicate so powerfully to others, because communication is the thing that restricts us. Remember, when you're triggered, the first thing that probably goes is your words. And this is why I say in communication, the first thing you got to do is pause. Pause before you say anything. Pause before you move to the next step, because you may say something that your words cannot get back. So it's important for you to really use your words effectively. There's times I know, my husband's on here, and there's times that we had to learn how to communicate effectively, because we could say words that will hurt one another. And we could say words that will now take us time to heal, because words can really scar you. Words are that, it's like scar tissue. I was thinking about a time when a family member of mine was getting surgery, and they said, "Oh, we can't do surgery because there's too much scar tissue." Now, she looked fine outside, but it was only when they was able to go in her to see the scar tissue. That is what words do. They leave scars and they leave wounds. And because the first thing we do is that we use our words as weapons. And that is what I want us to transform, because using your words as weapons can begin to hurt others just like you were hurt. All right. So the third thing is, and keep coming back because you'll learn some things here. The third thing, I'm going to give you one more, is consistency. Hope I spelled that right. Yep. Consistency. Now, this is what it looks like. When you follow through consistently with your boundaries, assertively, then you'll find yourself in a space where people will begin to respect them. So if say instead of, because we're dealing with a job, so we'll say this. So say you are at a position and the boundaries is, hey, I'm gonna go out with you guys as a group, but I gotta get home at a certain time. That's a boundary. And when you look at that, you gotta begin to see how your boundaries is consistently consistent. If you are consistent with your boundaries, people will regulate according to your boundaries. When there's times in your life when you had to learn how to build boundaries, that is because you need to. I would say, who I know, I'm gonna use him because he's great. My husband, Dr. Clarke, has great boundaries. I've never seen someone with such great boundaries. That he didn't go to school for psychotherapy, but what he showed me was, because my boundaries was very loosey-goosey. Everybody I would bring home with me, and he'll say to me, "Cheryl, everybody doesn't need to go home, but we can support them in another kind of way." We've been in a lot of communities. But when you have boundaries, it protects you and it protects others. But you got to look at your life and you got to see. And I'm not saying that you have to, you can't trust anyone, but you need to create those boundaries that you can begin to give yourself self-care, which is the last one. 4, self-care. All right. What is self-care? Self-care is when you can prioritize your wellness. Prioritizing, maintaining your boundaries is important. Why do I say that? Because there's no other way around it. If you look at yourself and if you see yourself in relationships that you are struggling? How do you know you have loosey-goosey boundaries? Because you either find yourself always in an upset, you'll find someone either yelling or screaming, or you find yourself losing positions, or you find yourself in a space where you are not happy. I believe that you can be happy. I believe that you can take some of these things today and create boundaries for yourself. And next time when we come live, we're going to talk about, you can meet us on our, we're going to meet us about talking about the family structure, because where you came from really really is a testament of who you are today. That's why looking at who you are, this person really could have made a difference. Now she's finding herself looking for another position. This is a real life situation. She's finding herself looking because of her beliefs. She went in with a belief about this lady. She can be my friend. She never saw her as a boss. How many times do you go into situations where your boundaries may be loosey-goosey? And that's the word I usually say. Loosey-goosey boundaries. So establishing healthy boundaries with individuals. You can begin to cultivate relationships that have self-respect, that can have mutual respect, and that you can begin to promote mental health wellness. And then you won't find yourself stressed out. You won't find yourself being like that. You won't find yourself in a box. And there's times that we all may feel that way. But I want you to know that there are tools out there you can utilize right now. Start with these 4 things this week. And next week when we come on, maybe you can come on and share it. If this was helpful to you, was this helpful? Let me know in the chat room that it was helpful to you. And seeing this tidbit right here, we're creating healthy boundaries. This is an opportunity for you to see. I've seen it too many times where people come into my office and they want a quick fix. The one quick fix I can say right now to you: create healthy boundaries. Start with these 4 things. And as you become more self-aware, you're going to find yourself moving in that space. You can begin to move in that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I like it. People are saying that this was helpful to them. And we'll be here every Tuesday evening with a little tidbit. Also, we're going to be coming on. I'm going to be coming on with my husband, and we're going to have a couples night. We're also going to be going on with a family night. We're going to take our family back. We're going to take our power back. We're going to get aware. We're going to speak power now, because the only way we could do this, we're going to do it together. And with your help, and with other physicians and other people coming on, experts, I want you to know that we can take our voice and speak power now. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you so much for joining. God bless and have a wonderful night. And remember, sometimes your life is defined by one single moment. Let that moment be today. See you next time.